Hello everybody, today I'm going to teach you how to play chess. For those who are wondering, chess isn't really for everybody, but if you want a game that involves a lot of strategy rather than brawn, then I recommend you check it out. Well, this is how you play chess. You see, both players have to take turns moving their pieces, but you can only move one piece per turn. And the goal of the game is to capture your opponent's king, thus a checkmate. Because even if you have the slightest knowledge of chess, you know that if you lose your king, you lose the match. So let me introduce to you all of the pieces of chess. So we got the pawns, the bishops, the rooks, the knights, the king, and the queen. So when you start the game of chess, obviously the pawn would be the first piece that you need to move because all of your other pieces are blocked. Unless you want to move the knight, because since the knight can jump over other pieces, but I'll get to it later. The point of the pawn, it was meant to be the most simple of all chess pieces. It can only move forward, and it can only move one space forward, thus making it rather pathetic. And the only way for a pawn to move diagonally if it captures another chess piece, like this. So I guess you can create some combos using the pawns, so that way you can get closer and closer to the king. However, if you're the player going first, if you want, you can make your pawn move 2 spaces, or just 1 depending on your strategy. Okay, next we have the bishop. It's the first of the special pieces. So how the bishop works is like this. It can move as many spaces as it wants, but it can only move diagonally, like this. The rook is basically the opposite of the bishop. Just like the bishop, it can move as many spaces as it wants, but it can only move vertically and horizontally. Next, we have the knight. It's a bit of a strange piece, but the point is, it can only move in an L pattern, and it can only move 3 spaces like this. 1, 2, and 3. And just like I said, the knight is the only piece that can jump over other chess pieces. But it can also jump over your opponent's pieces if if you're not really in the right position to capture them. But if you do something like this, you can easily capture them, of course. Now we have the 2 most important pieces of chess, the king and the queen. Because after all, you can't have medieval times without the king and the queen. So how the queen works, first of all, is that it's basically the most powerful piece in chess. It can move as many spaces as it wants. It can go in any direction except the L pattern from the knight. So you can't do things like this, or even stuff like this. Only this, 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 or this. So if you really want to put the pressure on your opponent, use the queen. But the queen is also a risky maneuver. Because if you lose your queen, then you're probably going to be at a disadvantage, so be careful about that. Now the king, on the other hand, just like the queen, it can move in any direction except the L pattern or any strange maneuver. And it can only move 1 space, just like the pawn. And like I said, if you lose your king, you lose the match, so be careful. So that's all I have to say about chess. Thank you for watching.